If you're anything like me, then you're always wondering, how on earth can I have time for friends, let alone make time for friends, because everything is always so hectic in my life. Here's how to do it. I got 3 tips for you. Let's hit it. Welcome back to Accidentally Intentional, where we are on a mission to build rich, meaningful friendships as adults to ultimately destroy our loneliness. And so this is a facet of it. I was asked this specific question at a speaking engagement recently, and the question was exactly this. She said, Zoe, I hear everything you're saying, but I'm a mom. I'm supposed to work out. I'm supposed to make dinners at home for my family because I'm the cook. How do I have a full-time job, balance the family, do all the cooking, cleaning, everything, and still make time for friends? And she brought up a great point. How on earth is there enough times in the day, let alone the week, to create margin for friends? Because we keep talking about and hearing how we do need friends. Apparently, the CDC has confirmed that loneliness on our body is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So this is something we need to tackle. And these are 3 tips that I have implemented in my own life to create a margin for friends. So the first tip is creating what I like to call an element of social fitness into your weekly calendar. So if you're someone who already makes fitness a part of your life, incredible job. I'm going to say that as a caveat to that, I would replace one of those personal fitness days with a social fitness day. So let's say that you like to go to the gym 3 days a week. Here's what I would challenge you with. If loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, then there are harmful impacts on our physical being. So pull back one of those fitness days and instead make it a social fitness day where you get coffee with someone or grab dinner or lunch with somebody for 1 hour. So that way you go to the gym twice a week and then you have a social fitness hour so that you're also taking care of your body in a different way entirely that isn't about lifting weights, but spending time with someone and having that meaningful, tangible, tactile connection with another human being. So that's tip 1. And if you're like, I don't work out, okay, here's what I would say. No matter what, being with people is beneficial to your long-term health. The longest study ever done at Harvard, which was an 85-year study, showed that the key predictor of living as long of a life and happy of a life as possible isn't as much as you're working out, it isn't as healthy as you're eating, but the quality and depth of your friendships. So we have to take it as seriously as anything else we would when it comes to our health. Okay, so tip number 2. This was an idea that was first discussed in the New York Times a couple years ago, but then Simon Sinek popularized this idea even further. But instead of me sharing it with you, why don't we hear it from him directly? Let me play this clip for you.
When someone is struggling or in need, all they need is 8 minutes from a friend to hold space with them to make them feel better. And so now we have a code word. When one of us is struggling, the text is, do you have 8 minutes? And that simply means, I need you.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
There's no greater honor that you could give a friend than to send them a text message that says, do you have 8 minutes? Like, when you're in your own, darkness, there is no greater gift to let someone know how much they mean to you to send that text.
There's no great honor.
There is no greater. That is the level friend that I aspire to be.
Great. So it is an 8-minute phone call is essentially what they're saying. They are now showing that even 8 minutes with a person on the phone can be exactly what your body and mind needs to feel seen, heard, loved, known. And that honestly changes everything, because a lot of us might think to ourselves from the outset, I don't have time for a 2-hour catch up. We really got to focus on what we're going to be discussing. And what if you set a timer, you explain this concept to the friend you wanted to talk to, set a timer for 8 minutes, and how much more productive and succinct that conversation would be when it comes to talking about super meaningful things. Now, should every conversation be 8 minutes? No. But if you need somebody, which we all need people sometimes, right? If you need somebody, this concept of texting somebody saying, do you have 8 minutes, can be game changing for your friendships. And then all of a sudden, it's not like you have to throw your whole calendar out the window and start over. You find a window of opportunity to connect, possibly every day, with someone different. So almost that micro catch up and that micro dosing of connection is incredibly impactful long term. So that's tip number 2. You might be watching this video or listening to this episode thinking to yourself, man, I really like where we're going with this, but ultimately I don't really know where to even start when it comes to building rich friendships or getting out of my rut of loneliness. And if that's you, I got you. Because now we have a free downloadable guide, which is the 5 steps you need to build rich friendships. It's the springboard that launches you into every other facet of your life in your own mission to destroy your loneliness. It's the exact steps that I, along with now hundreds of others, have used to destroy their loneliness and build the friendships that they've always dreamed of and always wanted. And now it could be your turn too. So make sure you check out the link in the description or the show notes to download that guide for free right now. 5 steps to build rich friendships. Hey, by the way, I think you're worth it. Back to the show. And then tip number 3, I mentioned the calendar, but truth be told, a lot of us say this phrase. Tell me if you have been guilty of this or experienced this recently. You run into someone, you see someone, and you're doing a little catch up and you're like, oh my gosh, we should totally hang out soon. Or, oh my gosh, we should grab dinner soon. And then it dies. Like nothing comes of it, because soon isn't a day on the calendar. So if you want to be a friend that is intentional, which I know that if you're watching this, you are that type of friend because you yourself are looking for intentional friends. And the goal of this show is to first embody and become the type of friend that we want and have been searching for our entire lives. Because intentional friends find intentional friends. And so this is a perfect way to implement intentionality, is by grabbing your phone and saying, hey, I would love to connect sometime soon. What do you have available in the next 2-3 weeks? So putting a date next to or after soon can change everything and make this an actual opportunity for connection, and also shows that you are taking it seriously and you want to be someone who does what they say they're going to do, which is honestly acting in incredible integrity and something that we all want. So all that being said, there's 3 tips to help you have time for friends and friendships as an adult. I believe in you, and I believe that you are worth building incredibly rich friendships. So let's do it as soon as today. Let's go.